Hello everyone, welcome back to another Project Gladiator Weekly Overlook, and today I'm going to be covering the weather for the week of October 22nd until October 29th. So, taking a look at the jet stream pattern, it's going to be a little bit more of a complicated jet stream pattern. You currently have this trough that is situated across the eastern United States that impacted last week. However, that's going to move off into the Atlantic Ocean and allow for a high pressure system to come in and kind of sit across the southeastern United States, leading to overall a low threat for severe thunderstorms. That is going to lead to overall a low threat for severe thunderstorms across the eastern United States. But then we also have the remnants of Tropical Storm Norma, or Hurricane Norma, that is currently impacting the western coast of Mexico here. That is going to advect into Texas over the next couple of days, from the 22nd until the 23rd, leading to some rain showers there. And then we also have this trough that is expected to make its way southeastward out of the Pacific Ocean, kind of sit itself across the southwestern United States and northern Mexico, advect into the Central Plains. This is expected to advect into the Central Plains as well as the Southwest, advect as far north as the Midwest into the northern Midwest, leading to a bunch of rain showers and rainfall for the areas affected, and the threat for severe thunderstorms across Texas, more notably on Wednesday, where we are expected to see a line of severe thunderstorms develop in Texas and Oklahoma, as well as southern Kansas. This is probably going to be the most notable event as far as severe weather for this week. Is going to be on Wednesday for Texas into Oklahoma, as that trough advects into the Central Plains, and then that trough is going to continue northeastward over the next couple of days from the 26th into the 25th, or the 25th until the 26th, continuing northeastward into Canada by the 27th, potentially leading to some rainfall in a threat for severe thunderstorms, possibly, as that makes its way northeastward. And then back behind that, we are expected to see a trough that is going to attach itself onto the fairly zonal jet of air across the northern half of the United States. This fairly zonal jet of air isn't really going to lead to all that much of a threat for severe thunderstorms in the northern half of the United States, but we could definitely see the threat of some snowfall for the northern half of the United States, and more on that later, as well as the threat for significantly colder temperatures, potentially getting down into the negatives even in some locations. And then as that trough advects into the Central Plains and into the Rockies, we could potentially see a threat for severe thunderstorms towards the very end of the week, and the threat for some snow showers or some snowfall in the Central Plains with that trough, as we are expected to see, again, significantly colder temperatures, but we are expected to see a very broad area of mid-level flow left over from the trough, combined with the jet stream and the subtropical jet, to give us a very broad area for mid-level flow, which could potentially support some rain showers, some snowfall, and then maybe the threat for severe thunderstorms later on in the week. Let's actually go over and take a look at the WPC really quickly, so we can get an idea of our excessive rainfall outlooks and our winter weather outlooks, as well as our quantitative precipitation across the United States, where we are expected to see the majority of our rainfall. So as for our day 1 outlook and our day 2 outlooks, which is going to be on Sunday and Monday, we aren't really expected to see really anything as far as flash flooding, sorry. But then on our day 3 outlook, which is going to be on Tuesday, we are expected to see a slight risk for flash flooding extending from Kansas into Texas across Oklahoma, and a marginal threat around that extending into Mexico as far north as southern Iowa, and a marginal threat for the northern Midwest, as that trough advects into the Central Plains out of the southwest. Then as for our day 4 outlook, kind of the same thing, slight risk for the southern Central Plains, with the marginal threat extending into the Midwest. Then as for our day 5 outlook, we have a marginal threat for the northern Midwest into Michigan. Things are definitely going to change between now and the time these are issued. Things, again, are definitely going to be updated between now and then. So if you're concerned about anything, be sure to watch for updates, so you can get updates on where and when everything should be. Let's take a look at our winter weather outlook. As for our day 1, we aren't really expected to see anything as far as snowfall. As for our day 2 outlook, we are expected to see some areas of snowfall in the United States, but the majority of it is going to be back up into Canada. And as for our day 3 outlook, we are expected to see snowfall pretty much fairly widespread in the northwestern United States to Washington, Oregon, Montana, into parts of Wyoming and Idaho. Then as for our day 4 outlook, you can see we are expected to have quite a bit of snowfall here as well into the northwest. Then for our day 5 outlook, we are expected to see snowfall more so back towards the northern United States and the northern central plains. For North Dakota and South Dakota, we could see some rainfall or snowfall, sorry. And then for our day 6 outlook, we are expected to see overall significantly less threat for snowfall, but definitely some lingering snow showers back across the northwestern United States. And then as for our day 7 outlook, we see a significant decrease in those snow showers, but we could see more of a threat for some snow back towards Wyoming into the central plains. So that is something you want to be watching out for as far as snowfall if you live in the affected area. If we take a look at our total quantitative precipitation really quickly, let's take a look at our 1 to 7 total quantitative precipitation. You can see we are expected to have quite a bit of precipitation across the northwestern United States. However, the majority of this is going to be snow. And then you can see, more notably, tons of rainfall back towards the central plains into the Midwest. This is going to be because of the trough that is going to advance into the central plains, and then also travel northeastward across the central plains into the Midwest, leading to the threat for severe thunderstorms and tons of rainfall across the Midwest, as well as with that cold front that is expected to impact the northern half of the United States. But more on that cold front later on our temperature models. So, in the areas in red and purple, we could definitely see the threat for flash flooding, as I was mentioning, with our excessive rainfall outlooks. We could definitely see the threat for flash flooding across the central plains in the Midwest, as we are expecting to see a absolute ton amount of rainfall for the central plains in the Midwest. Now let's take a look at our composite reflectivity, so you guys can get an idea of where and when our severe thunderstorms and rain showers should be this week. If you were confused by our composite or our 500 millibars, I'm going to be breaking down where and when we should see our rain showers on our composite reflectivity. Let's start off with Monday on the 23rd. Let's give it a little bit of time for the models to update. Okay, there we go. So for the 23rd, you can see we are expected to see a little bit of rainfall. Most notably, a little bit of rainfall on Monday in Texas as the remnants of Norma advance into the central plains. And then on the 24th, you can see a little bit more rainfall, and possibly the threat for severe thunderstorms as the trough from the Pacific Ocean situates itself in northern Mexico and advances into the central plains in the Midwest. As you can see, a bunch of rain showers all the way from the southwest into the Midwest. And if we take a look at our at the 25th, you can see, again, the most notable threat for severe thunderstorms is going to be across Texas and Oklahoma on Wednesday, as we are expected to see a line of severe thunderstorms develop and push eastward as a cold front attaches itself and advances off of that trough. And then we could also see some rain showers up across the Midwest into the rest of the central plains as well. And then if we take a look at the 26th, you can see that trough as it advances northeastward across the Midwest. Tons of rainfall associated with that trough on the 26th across the Midwest. Then the 27th, we have a lot of that rain lingering over parts of Michigan and Wisconsin, but more so back up into Canada, with a little bit of precipitation across the northern United States into the northwestern United States. The majority of this is going to be snowfall. If you're seeing a lot of the precipitation out across the eastern United States, the western United States, the northwestern United States, that is probably most likely going to be snowfall, but we could potentially see some rain showers mixed in with that as well. Let's take a look at the 27th as those potentially some snow showers. I'm pretty sure these are snow showers. I think it would be better if we actually switched over to our with our precipitation type outlooks really quickly. And yeah, that is going to be snowfall with a little bit of rain mixed in. And again, as I was saying, the majority of the precipitation towards the northwestern United States is probably going to be snowfall, with a little bit of rain mixed in. But again, the majority of it's going to be snowfall. Let's take a look at the 28th. You can see with the very large zonal area of level flow across the Central Plains into the Midwest across the vast majority of the United States, you can see is going to support a little bit of snowfall across the Central Plains into the High Plains, as well as some rain showers towards the southern half of the United States, with a little bit of some mixing across Kansas with some freezing rain and sleet across Kansas into Nebraska. Then if we take a look at our at the 29th, you can see some rain showers are going to continue to linger across the Central Plains and into the Midwest and Ohio River Valley because of that very broad area for mid-level flow, with a little bit of snow, possibly some sleet and freezing rain mixed in across the northern parts of the Central Plains, where we are expected to see significantly decreased temperatures this week. Taking a look at our dew points, focusing on the cold front that is currently out across the Atlantic Ocean and where it impacted this week. As you can see, this didn't really clear out the southern United States, as we have a little bit of moisture left over, especially in the Gulf of Mexico and into some parts of Texas and Louisiana. Because that didn't entirely clear out the Gulf of Mexico or the southwestern United States, that is going to leave moisture to easily return back to the Central Plains. So we should definitely see quite a bit of instability and ample moisture to support the threat of severe thunderstorms across the Central Plains into the Midwest this week. That's all I really had to cover as far as dew points. Taking a look at our temperatures, as you can see, that cold front that just passed through earlier last week is leading to some significantly colder temperatures across the eastern United States into the New England region. However, as that high pressure system comes into place out of the Caribbean in the southwestern United States, that's going to allow for heat to build again across the eastern United States. So we shouldn't really see long lasting effects from that cold front last week. And as that cold front progresses out of Canada, you'd see significantly colder temperatures out of the northern United States, after fairly warm temperatures continue to linger across the southern United States. Very, very cold temperatures are going to be in place across the northern United States behind that cold front. We are expected to see temperatures widespread drop below average and below freezing, with temperatures widespread getting into the negatives, possibly getting as low as some of the double digits in the negatives across Montana. And as that cold front persists, you can see a very large area for temperatures that are going to not only be in the negatives. We could definitely see temperatures that are going to be in the negatives in some locations, but most notably a very large area of temperatures that's going to be below freezing. So that is going to be something you definitely want to be watching out for this week if you live in the affected area. The cold front associated with this change in temperatures is going to mainly impact the northern half of the United States, making or leaving the southern United States pretty much unaffected. The southwestern United States is going to continue to see temperatures that could potentially stay in the 80s, the upper 80s, possibly get very close to the 90s, but mainly stay around the 80s. Again, moral of the story is going to stay pretty warm across the southern United States, while the northern half of the United States is going to get very, very cold, and that is going to help support our snowstorms. Taking a look at our climatology outlooks, focusing on our temperature, and then we'll move on to precipitation. We are expected to see a very large area for temperatures that are going to be below average for a very large portion of the United States, except for the regions of the United States that's going to be in the eastern United States, such as eastern Texas into the New England region, as well as the western United States, the far western United States, like California, into some parts of the Southwest. But anywhere else is expected to see temperatures that could get below average. In fact, this low area for North Dakota into northern Montana, or Minnesota, sorry, we are expected to see a 80% chance of temperatures being below average. that is going to be absolutely insane as far as temperatures this week. Again, we are expecting to see a very large area for temperatures that are going to not only be below average, but below freezing and possibly into the negatives in some locations. Taking a look at our precipitation outlook, we are expecting to see a very large area for the chance of below average threat for precipitation across the western United States, more so extending from Arizona into Utah, into western parts of Wyoming, into the northern half, the Central Plains and Midwest, with an area of above average chance for precipitation for the rest of the United States, for the Central Plains into the Ohio River Valley, excluding the far southeast like Florida and Georgia, as well as the New England region. We could definitely see the threat of an above average threat for precipitation and a below average threat for precipitation in the western United States. Now that I've told you the weather, please go down to the description and check out the socials for Project Gladiator. And join the description for any updates on Project Gladiator. If you live in any of the areas that I covered for today, please stay where they live for the time being. And if you didn't like, or if you did like this forecast, please tell me what either went wrong or went right, so I can improve off of that. And hopefully I will be able to see you guys tomorrow with another forecast.